thought we were doing a podcast tonight, I would have wiped better.
Potty podcast. Your butt?
Getting swass over there?
He's sitting on crusty.
You don't get those sweaty. You don't get those itchies.
Why aren't you using the bidet?
That's when you...
Oh, man, the other
That's
day
when you
I
let out a
needed
fart.
one so
I was
bad.
just being a smart-
I was in there
I was being a
forever
smart
just
aleck.
wiping.
Oh my God.
It's like grabbing
Yeah,
it out
wiping.
of the hair.
Oh my God.
I shaved the hair. It's
Oh
gone.
my God.
I've
you
heard
ever
about
tried to-
trimming the hedges, but you done scoured the earth.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the perfect example of something you weren't ready for to happen in this year, much like many other things that happened this year. Welcome back to Five Crowd.
Oh my God. We're starting
Oh, we're leading right in with that, are we?
That's what she said.
Yep, start right in with it. Just another example of terrible things that have happened this year.
This
Oh my
episode brought to you
God.
by Nair.
Or Schick.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
You got shick on your shake stick.
Oh, shit. Shiggity shit.
Oh shicky!
The Mach 5.
Oh, God.
Mach
How many blades
82.
did you need? It reminds me of that SNL. Have you ever seen that where they had like a 16,
16,
blade
yeah.
razor?
like
And they're like,
this thick.
razors 1 through 4 will clean your face right off of the hair. Razors 5 through 16 will then remove the entire upper layer of your skin down into the muscle.
Oh, man.
Goodness gracious, what a year it has been. I mean, I don't even know of any good thing to say about this year
No.
other than it's almost over.
Okay, the only good thing that I have to say about 2020 is my daughter Paige.
And
There you go.
my daughter, Kelsey.
There you
There
go.
you go. Nah, no, just kidding. I'm kidding. I love your daughter. She's
But
so
here we
sweet.
are. We're finally at the end. So we wanted to kind of look back and see all the stuff that we've all been through, not only as friends, families, just people of this earth this year, because it has been
It's affected the entire earth.
insane.
Literally.
Oh yeah. This has been the wildest year ever. I will say though, I hope it's like everyone acts like this year ending is gonna end like 12 a.m. or January 1st. You know what I mean? Everyone's like, okay, 2020 is here. It's like January 1st. No more
2021?
Corona. No more nothing. Yeah, whatever.
The doves fly out, and it's
Actually,
just...
I saw a meme and it was like the guy's watching the clock. It's like
I think I've seen the same one.
11:59, and he's like, yes, it's almost 2021. And then it's like, and then it just goes to, what was it?
11:60.
11:59. Oh, yeah, 11:60. And it just keeps counting.
It's like December 31st, 1160, and his face is
He's
just
like, what?
No.
2020 forever.
Now, here's a question I have for you guys. This year, for me personally, has felt like it is dragged on, but also it feels like it's gone by so quickly.
That's the way it is for me.
Same.
Yeah. Like when you look back at it, you're like, oh man, I just remember it was taking forever. And then now that you're looking back, you're like, whoa, it's already Christmas area. or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I look at it and I'm like, holy crap, Christmas is in a week.
Yeah.
At the time of this recording, obviously.
Yeah, at the time
but
of this
still, like that's like to me is insane that we're already in Christmas. But then I also feel like this year has been like 4 years long.
Yeah.
See, I feel like it flew by just like all together. I feel like last month was February. Like it's,
Not me. I feel like up until like
I'm happy
June,
for
it
you.
was dragging. It was like a painful,
Yeah.
monotonous, slow.
mine is
So,
I blame mine on the fact, of course, that my daughter was born. So she, of course, takes up a lot of time. But with Corona and everything, my work has been really funky. I've had a lot more time home
True. Same.
because of Corona and stuff. So that helps everything fly by.
let me put it into perspective. How slow this year has gone. I'm gonna start it off with something.
Okay.
Kobe,
like that.
Kobe Bryant's death
Yeah.
was almost a year ago. January 26, 2020 is when he died.
January?
Yes.
Dude, that
Oh,
feels like it was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
To me, I see.
I
and
feel
that's
like it
where
was
I-
like in April-ish.
See, and that's where I feel weird. I almost feel like it was like 4 months ago. But then I
No.
think about it and I'm like, yeah, it also feels 4 years ago. Like there's that
weird.
weird
Yeah.
timeline.
Dude, and that was so weird. Let's take it back. Let's go back to the beginning of this year and just kind of like dive in through the cascading dominoes that were 2020.
Now, can I ask real quick what everyone was doing the night that 2020 came, like for New Year's? What were you guys doing for New Year's? Because I know I was at Chris and Lisa's.
Yeah.
And we were all dappered out. It was for a Roaring 20s party.
You guys didn't have to roar so hard.
And I was so excited. I was like, oh, yeah, this is going to be awesome. The Roaring 20s are going to come here. It's going to be great. And
I burned my suit. It was bad.
Sacrificed
Didn't
it.
they have the Great Depression in the 20s, though? So,
Yes,
I mean,
they
it
did.
kind of
They
just came
did.
full circle. So.
yeah, it really did. History repeated itself.
Oh, I don't even remember what I did on New Year's Eve. I think we just had one at home.
I was at
Gonna
my
say,
I was at my in-laws. My brother-in-law will always put on a hot wings challenge, kind of like Hot Ones, where there's levels 1 through 10, and each wing you eat, it gets hotter and hotter.
Nice.
So we do that.
I remember now, actually. Tell me if you guys do this with your kids. We looked up the fireworks of like China ringing in the new
Australia,
year, and
or-
we're like, "Oh, Kaylee, it's about to go down." We're all like, 5, 4. We count down, goes off. We're like, "Awesome, okay, go to bed now." And it was like 9:00.
Did she really go to bed?
Yeah,
Well done.
Really?
yeah,
That
dude.
worked?
You just look it up because kids, they don't know what time it is, and they think anything past their bedtime is late. So if you just find a video of that year just from, across the world, throw that up and count down with it, they take it and they're like, "Cool, see you tomorrow."
that's awesome.
Wow.
Putting that in my back
Then
pocket.
we just watched a movie or something.
I've heard
That's
of
great.
I've heard of changing your clocks and stuff, but I guess nowadays where most people use like their phones and whatnot to tell time, you can't really just change it. 'Cause
Exactly, you just hide them. There's no other clocks in the house. I mean,
It's true.
oh goodness. What about you? You guys do anything? Did you cause this in some way?
It was the
I-
gingers,
They were. It's just,
lizard people.
2020 was the year that they turn in their quota of souls.
So anyone who knows me,
They came short.
I cannot stay awake past what? 10
7.
o'clock?
like 8?
8?
No.
8 p.m.?
7? Something?
Not
I
cheap.
mean, you
Here
start-
here at this recording, I think you're only half awake.
It's true.
Yeah, it
why I'm
is
quiet
8,
half the time.
12.
We honestly, I think we stayed home and we were all asleep by like 10 o'clock. So
Nice.
that's our New Year's.
Pretty
much
roaring.
every year.
Jenny and I did that one year before we had kids. It was just me and her. We had no plans, nothing to do on New Year's, and it was probably 10 o'clock. And we look at each other and we're like, "Are you tired? Yeah. Are you? Yeah. Let's just go to bed." We did. We're like, "Yeah."
I will never surrender to that.
Yeah.
I will. I will always bring in the new year.
Dude, I think this year I'm going harder than I've ever gone before.
See, my
12:01.
12:01.
Here, I'll tell you what. I'll make it to 10:31. Okay.
Boom. I love it.
Bets are in. Bets are in. Everybody.
Zach's like, "It is midnight on the East Coast. I'm out."
It's 12 o'clock somewhere.
Exactly right.
See, he's going to look up the video just so he can go to bed. Be like, "I already saw it, everyone. I'm good."
The world didn't end. We're good.
Ooh.
See, my thing with
Don't speak too soon.
my thing with New Year's is I kind of think of it as kind of a drinking holiday, and with me not being a drinker, that's why I've never been like, I don't know.
See, and growing up, I always thought of it as like a kissing holiday. And me not being much of a kisser, I never got any.
Not by choice.
Huh?
Not by choice, though, right?
I always wanted to find.
Did you hold a
I had
hand
a
or two?
sad
though?
love life, dude.
Yeah, you held a hand or two, though, didn't you?
I held a hand or two for sure.
Right on.
You hand slut.
I was.
Kara was probably holding like 4
pales.
hands.
Kara pales in comparison.
Kara's like, "Oh, it's New Year's. Here, I'm going to hold 4 hands."
This year's got 4 hands and
Let me get a hold of that pinky.
Oh my.
Everybody
word.
get a hand in here.
But here, let's take it back. Okay, January. Back in January, before we get too handsy up in this place.
January.
January.
I know
Remember
exactly
January?
where Austin went with
January.
that.
Gosh. Now, in January, did you guys ever imagine this year was going to turn out the way it did? Like, did you guys have any kind of resolutions
I don't think
for this
any
year?
of us did.
No.
No, so like I was one of those where it's like 2020's the year. like type thing.
Me
you know?
too.
I had all kinds of hopes and dreams.
Well, it's like have you ever seen that meme out there? It says it's like 2020. What was it? 4th of July is on a Saturday. Christmas is on a weekend. Halloween was on the weekend. New Year's is on a weekend.
Oh yeah,
This is the year.
Cinco de Mayo's on Taco Tuesday. Like
Everything was lining. We
everything
should've
lined up
known.
so perfectly.
It lined
And
up
then
too perfect.
On the bottom, it's Star Wars, and it's Anakin on fire, and all he says is it's 2020 over him, and it says I hate you, and it's Obi-Wan yelling, "You were the chosen one."
Dude, memes have definitely summed up this year perfectly. But I remember it all starting with Australia and just like the brush fires in Australia. Do you guys remember that?
That was actually
I
started,
can't
didn't it
believe
start in
that-
December and go into January, if I remember right. But
Yeah,
don't-
it did.
that might be
Did
right.
it start in December?
It did.
I just remember seeing the satellite
that-
picture and the whole
Yeah.
thing was lit.
Well, and that's why it was so. I know you don't mean it the way you said it, but that's how I heard
it was lit. It was
Bro, Australia was lit, dude.
No.
What noise is that?
That's his like surfer, bro.
Go with it.
No.
Like, we
Lit
were
means
like-
like it was rad.
Like we was like going down.
I don't think you
That's
think
his-
that sounds.
that's his,
I don't
Uh,
think
like
that
a
means
sound.
what you think it
That's
means.
his Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves.
For all those like only listening, they're like, "What the heck is
Surfer,
going
bruv.
on?"
Chris trying to be
What's
a
that?
surfer.
Point Break. That's his Point Break.
Hey,
Spicoli from Fast Times.
ooh, there we go.
it was lit like a Christmas tree on fire, and I don't know what I'm saying, guys.
It was terrible.
I quit.
But I think going back to that, I think that's why it was so crazy is because it started in December and it was still going.
Yeah.
Like all through January, you're like you keep seeing it pop up and you're like, holy crap, this is still happening. I remember seeing all the videos of like random people like rescuing koalas
Yeah.
and stuff. And like just carrying these animals, which normally would probably rip your face off, and they're just like taking them out of the brush fire and stuff.
Well,
It was
I
so
actually
sad.
read about an animal that burrowed underground and was actually pulling animals down into safety.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Always a silver lining.
Isn't that
Yeah.
wild?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also
Come to
heard
find out, it was a Komodo dragon. He's just eating them all.
He's like, ooh, barbecue. Sorry, too soon.
That's on Komodo.
barbecue.
Speaking of that,
Bob.
so you guys know.
Ooh, Bobby.
Speaking of that, you guys know Burger Bar, right? So Burger Bar
That's right.
they have an exotic meat of the month every month, and I want to say it was January, February-ish when the fires were still going.
Right in the middle of the
It was
brush
right
fire.
in the middle of it. Their exotic meat of the month was kangaroo,
Shut up.
and they got so much crap for it. But it's like,
Well,
come
it's
on.
like- Yeah.
So the
That's-
funny thing is they actually sent a statement out and they're like, we're not going to pull the meat, number one. Number two, we actually had to pre-order this like 3-4 months in advance. So they were like, when we planned on doing this, none of this was even happening.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're like, I'm sorry, we're not going to pull the meat because if we pull the meat, it's all going to go to waste anyways.
waste.
So,
Well, and I've
people-
heard that kangaroos in Australia are like deer here.
Yeah, they're like
They're-
rodents.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
They're
They're
mean.
plentiful. Yeah, they're legit like Australia's deer.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the people don't have enough understanding or hindsight to even understand that things take time, and this was
Well, and
obviously done well before this happened.
Yeah,
That's definitely
exactly.
another like big lesson of this year is that everyone needs to step back, breathe, and just like assume some positive intent.
Quit, cancel, just cancel.
Yeah,
You're
quit
canceled.
the
we are,
canceling
we
culture.
are cancel
garbage.
culture.
No.
Immediately, minute one.
Do what
So
they should have done.
stupid.
They should have put under that in bold letters. Well done.
Speaking of cancel culture, finds a crowd, just cancel.
I remember.
Well, I mean, no, for real.
insensitive.
that reminds
Too
me.
soon? Is it too
That
soon?
reminds me of the one night we were playing Jackbox. I think it was Jackbox, and it was like you had to put the photo or put a phrase to a photo, and you just got a random photo. And I remember mine was people on the beach with fireworks, and it's like, and I just put vacation in Australia.
I remember that.
Oh, all in good fun, people. Jokes are jokes for a reason.
Oh my god.
But I mean, speaking of cancel culture, what also happened in January, freaking Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were
That's
like,
right.
we cancel our membership to the royal club.
That's right.
And they peaced out.
Wait, what?
You don't
Yeah.
remember that?
Prince Harry,
Prince
Meghan
Harry
yeah.
is
He's,
Meghan Markle?
he's not a prince?
No.
They left the royalty.
How stupid do you have to be to leave like one of the only recognized royal families in the
Well,
world?
And I even think that they were like literally next in line. Like they were. If I could be
No,
completely
he's
wrong.
the younger brother.
Are you sure? I thought he was
William's.
the.
William's the older one.
The bald, ugly one's the.
Oh, so
bald
he would be,
ugly-
okay. So he would be,
Right.
he would be next in line. Okay.
He does.
The
Poor
bald
guy
one should
gets
be called
worse
Harry.
every
Kind of
year,
looks like Peyton Manning. a
but
little
like
bit.
without athletic
Without the
ability.
arm. Without the arm.
Wow.
No, the other thing is
This is just a
that
giant roast so far.
we're roasting 2020 because all it's done is roast us all year long.
That's right.
2020
This-
roast.
and this is not a pun on Australia. This is a totally different subject.
Well, no, it's that was intended. It was intentional joke with multiple layers.
We learned from Australia how to roast things.
But yeah, they like pieced out, and apparently they went to Canada, and then Canada was expected to like keep paying their like royalty bills because I guess Canada is, in a way, still tied to England. I don't know all that stuff.
Yeah. Basically, they. I don't know
Providence.
how it all works, but yeah, the Queen is. I mean, it's yeah. They're all still England and.
Oh, thanks for that explanation. That
Yeah,
clears
that
a
was-
lot
that-
up.
that was a
I was
lot
trying
of-
to explain it. The words.
All I'm saying,
It was
all
all
I'm
in my head,
saying-
but it wasn't coming out. I don't know.
Canada.
I
England.
mean, all I'm saying
Yes.
is,
They're good.
thank
They're
goodness,
still underneath that.
thank
Yes.
goodness for 1776.
Then
We
why
don't have
did
to
they
deal
all
with that
sp-
drama anymore.
Why do they all speak French in Canada?
We?
They don't all speak French.
They all speak
Quebec.
French.
They all
Just
speak
Quebec.
English or
Quebec,
French.
right?
Just kidding.
Quebec.
Quebec?
Quebec.
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 Anywho,
No.
the other good thing that happened
kill
is
you,
we
you say
bombed
that.
that Iranian general.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, took him out. Soleimani.
Almost started World War III.
Kerpow.
No.
Yes.
All the room.
huge.
I just remember. I remember everyone
You do a
freaking
better
out.
Trump than a surfer.
Well, because
I'll work on that.
he does. So we blew up Soleimani, which he was a super bad guy. So I mean,
Yeah, he was.
no love lost there. But then was it Iraq or Iran? No, I can't remember.
And I ran.
From Iraq. That's how I always remembered him.
Did you guys
Iran
just hear an
from
angel?
Iraq.
Yeah.
I just heard an angel. Did you hear an angel?
That was just that was Zach.
It didn't have a soul.
How could it be an angel then?
It was a soulless angelic being.
They call those demons. But yeah, and then they said they were like gonna retaliate, and everyone's like, "Oh no, World War III, it's coming, World War III."
No.
And nothing
Then they
happened.
realized if they did retaliate,
they
they'd be blown into
retaliated. Well,
pieces.
you heard about it though, right? They did shoot missiles at a base,
But nobody was there.
but no one was there
Yeah.
because supposedly they had like told us they were gonna shoot missiles at that base at this specific time, and so everyone just left,
It's a coup.
and
Well.
that was that.
We got 5 minutes, guys. I guess let's go for a stroll.
Dude, right?
You know?
Weird.
That's because they just wanted to know, if we did kill anybody, hey, we warned you. We warned you.
We've got better aim than North Korea.
Very much so.
Well, now here's a question.
wait.
It was going back on the Europe thing. Is Brexit also? Did that happen this year?
That finally happened this year. Yeah.
What's
In
that?
January.
I don't know if I heard that.
So Brexit, dude, I remember watching it on I was on vacation. I watched it on TV when they voted for it. And
Yeah.
so I had to be like 2 years ago. They voted to basically leave the European Union.
oh, that. Yeah.
England was like, we want out of this. You guys are dumb and you're weighing us down. We want out.
That's right.
And it was kind of split on the country, but like the 51% or whatever, the majority wanted to leave. It didn't actually happen until this year in January. They finally fully left.
Gotcha.
Peaced out.
Speaking of South Korea earlier, too, didn't Kim
South
Jong...
or north?
North.
I said north.
North, sorry. North Korea. Didn't Kim Jong-un die this year, and then he was like magically well like
Yeah,
the next
he like
week
disappeared.
after that.
He went
Well,
in
they
for a heart
announced
surgery.
they announced his death and said he had passed away.
That's right. That
and
was
then
this
within
year.
like a day after that, they were like, "Oh, like there were pictures of him that surfaced that he was just fine."
They trying to make him out to be the next Jesus or something of North Korea.
Well, there's a lot of
Kim
speculation.
Jong Jesus.
There's a lot of speculation that they did they replaced
Mandela
him.
effect?
Yeah, or they replaced him with a lookalike. Like he died.
you don't
He
find someone
actually
looking like
died,
that?
but then they replaced him with lookalike to not cause any stir or anything like that.
Didn't he
in
get
his
called Rocket
country.
Man this year too? Rocket Man.
He did. Rocket Man. Didn't Trump
Rocket
call him
Man.
Rocket Man? Yeah.
Little Rocket Man.
Well, and how do you
So
replicate
funny.
that hairstyle? Like that's
Right, dude?
such a unique hairstyle.
I don't even know if he just had it done once.
They just
It's
put some-
never changed. It's actually like metal.
It's just like a metal toupee.
It's like a metal
resting on a
that's
bald
implanted.
head,
Yeah.
screwed in with a few screws up top.
Yep. Welded to a plate.
Battle of the hairstyles. That's what it
Can you
was.
imagine getting headbutted with that? You'd be done.
I think they just put a bowl over his head and then just cut around it.
No, that's not him. He's the one with like the weird back.
No, it's like a
It's
slick.
like a comb back
Yeah.
hairstyle that's square.
But
It's
also
unique.
this year was the
remember.
first time that him and the South Korean do have a minister, prime minister, chancellor, leader, whoever the leader of South Korea is, met with Kim Jong,
Yeah.
which is like for the first time in like forever, probably our entire lifetime, which was also huge. Like so many weird things. This year's just been weird.
Well, I thought who's that crazy guard from Chicago Bulls?
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman. Didn't
Yes.
Dennis Rodman
He
meet
was
with him?
friends with him. That wasn't this year. This was years ago.
Oh, that was years
He
ago?
was like best friends with him. Because remember the movie The Interview?
He's like, I'm gonna go and give us peace, and everyone's like, No, you're gonna blow up
Don't
our
do it.
country.
And
And then
they were
next
like-
thing you know, they're like best buds.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be best buds with Rodman. Did you guys watch that show, The Last Dance?
No.
No.
Dude,
Yeah,
I
dude. I
so
heard he
badly
was
want to be friends
crazy.
with Dennis Rodman after that. I'm like,
I
man,
just
this guy's
remember-
crazy.
You got to
Yeah.
think he was also like in the 90s, like the craziest person we knew of.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's
sure.
And all he did
normal
was had
now.
like, yeah, he just had like dyed hair. And
His hair
nose
color
rings.
changed
and a
every.
lot of earrings and tattoos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you're like, that's
He
everyone.
was the
Wasn't
bad
he
boy of the
also-
NBA. Like
Wasn't he
Yeah.
also in like a cover of Sports Illustrated in like a wedding,
wedding
dress?
dress.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
Freaking
That dude's
weirdo.
wild. I love it.
Yeah.
But speaking of
being a
NBA,
good ball player though.
this is also the year that we lost Kobe Bryant.
yeah.
Kobe.
I mean, I wasn't hugely affected. Like, I'm always sad when someone dies, but I've never been huge into sports. So it wasn't like, I was
Right.
like, man, that sucks. Because
I
like,
was
I know
more-
I respected him because in basketball, he was one of the people I knew because he was so good. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I didn't care about basketball, but he was so good at
He
it
was
that
one
I
of the
knew who he
names
was.
that you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
I was
so
just sad of the way it happened because didn't they
Yeah.
say that it was the
helicopter.
pilot was drinking or he was under the influence or something?
I heard that there was a bunch of stuff that came out, but it ended up they were trying to lay blame. It was people that weren't actually involved closely with it trying to kind of blame the pilot.
Yeah.
But it was an issue with weather.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
I
there was a
think-
weather issue, and then they ended up like
But I thought
near the mountain and like low pressure like dropped the helicopter. Helicopters are actually crazy hard to fly.
They are, yeah. And,
And they
any
need-
sort of like crazy amount of difference in temperature, it greatly affects the density of air, and you can just.
Yeah, the only
Yeah.
thing that keeps a helicopter in the air is the lift from the propellers. And if the pressure changes and it can't generate lift, it's not going to be in the air
Yeah.
anymore.
In fact, if I even remember right, I think
Then
some
it-
of the families came out and like said, "Hey, stop blaming the
They
pilot."
defended-
like,
yeah,
they
like, his
defended him. They're
wife
like, it
defended the
wasn't-
pilot.
Like even Kobe's wife was like, "Hey, it wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
He'd done a lot of tests, all that stuff, and layoff and."
Yeah.
Bryant was the guy who took the crown from Jordan when Jordan retired. Like he was
Yeah.
the next.
Yeah.
He was the next heir, basically.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
See, this actually affected my brother a lot. My brother, huge Lakers fan, huge Kobe fan. In fact, his two players were Kobe and Shaq, and so like he learned about this, like it was almost to the point where he just was in tears.
Well, and
Wow.
I'm
About it.
again, I'm kind of similar to Cam in that I don't really follow basketball. I know certain names and all that, but what I always knew about Kobe was he was extremely competitive and fierce on the court, but off court, like stand up dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Extremely kind, totally just like a great father figure to his daughters.
Well, even after retirement, he taught his daughter, or he coached his daughter's basketball team and stuff. It's like, how cool would that be?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my pee-wee basketball, I don't know if you call it pee-wee, but my pee-wee basketball coach is Kobe Bryant.
Can you imagine like little 5-year-olds? They're like, "What do you know, sir? I had the ball. I shot it. I'm Kobe Bryant, kid.
That-
That doesn't mean anything."
Actually,
bud.
another cool thing about Kobe is he is an Oscar-winning. He won an Oscar for an animated short film.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
He did. It of course had to do with basketball, but yeah, it was a short film. It was only like 10, 20 minutes long. I can't remember what it was called, but I want to say he won the Oscar for it.
Dude, people like that fascinate me who just excel so much above everybody else. Just the ethic and everything. It fascinates me. I love seeing
Well, what blows my mind is even at a professional level, you have people in the pros that stand out amongst the pros.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like it is crazy when you start like everyone on this team is a professional. We are all here. We have all dedicated our lives to this sport, and yet one player is just leagues above everyone else. And you're like, how? How are you this good?
Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense.
Well, I think to me the biggest thing is that when that ability transcends your arena, essentially, like I said,
Yeah.
like because he was so good at what he did, all of us who didn't even care about the sport he played, we knew of him and we still looked up and we're like, that guy's just like, wow, he's amazing.
He's one of those. Yeah, I feel like every sport has like a handful of those athletes that's like you could not follow the sport in the least, and there's still those names you hear. It's like Wayne Gretzky. You know,
Yeah,
I've never
Wayne
watched
Gretzky.
it. Yeah, I've never watched hockey.
The
Well, like
only
I've watched a
guy-
couple games of hockey, but not professional. Never followed it. But like that's a name you just know.
Gretzky, Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
Have you ever looked up Tony Hawk's Twitter?
Oh, it's the best thing ever.
It's so funny. He
It's
has
the best.
stories about all the times people don't recognize him, but then telling me they think he looks like this skater they know. They're like, you look like this professional skater. Like, it's crazy. I don't know. He like, he must live around here. And he's like, yeah, I do. And they're like, okay. Like, or they'll say like, oh man, you look like Tony Hawk. He's, oh, no way. He'll just mess with him.
One person in general that really transcends the more than one field, and I know Zach's gonna freak out, but Dwayne Johnson, that guy,
Easy.
like I know, easy. Calm down there, calm down.
It's a children's
But
show.
he is a
It's about
guy.
not to be.
He's a guy that literally has transcended the arena of WWE, like wrestling. Like he's become a world-renowned actor. He's launched his own line of tequila or whatever it is.
He's got his
Yeah,
Project
yeah.
Rock with Under Armour, so his own line of
Yeah.
clothes.
He had a TV
and-
show too.
No,
like
he's coming out with a TV
No,
show.
he had one though. It
The
was like the
Titans
Titan,
or whatever.
like the
Titan
competition
Games?
show. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, that's not really a TV show. That's a.
What is
But
it
I mean,
then?
like,
Where do
It's
you
like
watch
our
it,
modern
Zach?
day American gladiators.
yeah.
Do you watch it on TV, Zach?
Yeah, but
Is it
that-
like a show
I classify
on the
TV
TV?
show as like a half an hour like
Sitcom?
sitcom. Yes.
Yeah, they call those sitcoms.
I think he brought he
Shut up, Cam.
He also, I think, elevated the whole wrestling genre. You know, people. I think a lot of people lost interest and it was starting to go down, and then he came and it just boomed again.
That's what I was gonna say, and Zach's
He
gonna hate
transcend-
me for this. But I feel like starting in wrestling, you're starting actually like here's the line of like normal, and you're starting in the negatives. And not only did he transcend from the negative to positive, he like went far past.
Yeah.
He like.
Are
and
you
he
saying
pulled
if
it
you're
with
a
him.
wrestler
I mean,
or if you're a fan of wrestling?
oh, I mean, like wrestlers, and then like their fans.
Hey, all I know is Rock is the highest
love
paid
you.
actor, right?
Yeah.
Rock's the highest
Yes.
paid actor right now.
Yes.
That's insanity.
Yeah.
Or
And
the
he's-
highest grossing. Sorry.
And he's good.
He's
good.
great.
Yeah, highest
He's
grossing,
gotten
highest paid,
better.
something like that.
We just watched The Mummy Returns, his first film. He plays
He
the
was all
Scorpion King.
CGI.
Oh yeah.
Well, there's that very beginning
that's
scene,
true.
Yeah.
and trying to listen to him speak Egyptian or whatever language that is. It's like, oh man, you're like, hey,
He's
He's
good.
basically everything Arnold Schwarzenegger wanted to be.
hey, Arnold was good.
He was good, but Rock is just a little better. He's our Arnold, let's be honest.
He's our Arnold. I'll give you that.
Okay. This went off on a crazy tangent. All I was doing was just giving another example of a person.
Anywho,
You did this.
I'm
back to
sorry.
2020.
I'm still back on the
Back to
wrestling
2020.
fan.
He's like,
Zach's hurt.
Zach's gonna go cry. You better apologize.
I'm sorry that you have terrible
You know,
taste.
in all
Terrible taste.
Wow.
Oh,
It's like worse than the Tim Burton diss. I'm out of here.
you made
I
him
love
just
you.
quit Five's a crowd. We didn't even eject him. He quit.
You know what? In your defense, I have found out that wrestling is still huge. Like I thought,
Does that help?
I don't think that does help.
It's still
Yes.
huge. It's still huge.
well, like
That's so funny.
I mean, like I always just assumed.
idea.
I just always assumed, I don't know, that wrestling just wasn't one of those things. Like it had its fans, but it wasn't.
you thought it died out in the 90s,
Yeah.
basically. Okay, yeah, I get
So-
that.
Let's
I get
just
that.
say the best move they made was bringing in the divas.
I've
wrong?
I've never watched it. I haven't watched
I've never
wrestling.
watched wrestling either.
I haven't watched
Stacy
wrestling
Keibler,
since it was
anyone?
Hulk Hogan.
dude,
Wait, Stacy Keibler?
Yeah.
Isn't that the girl off of that show?
Which show?
That nerd show?
Keebler.
Are you thinking of
Big Bang Theory.
Big
Big Bang Theory?
No, that's
No.
Kaylee Cuoco. I don't know how
Yeah,
to say her
there
last
you
name.
go. Stacy Keibler, totally.
No, she used to make cookies in a tree.
I was gonna.
And that's how the
That's
Australian
actually
fire
fun fact.
started.
That's what I named my first car after. Stacy, my van, was named after Stacy Keibler. I'll show you later.
Does
Don't
he
worry.
get karma credit?
My eye
Any
is
credit,
twitching because I
Mark?
want to say things, but I'm not going to because it's already been dug deep.
Oh,
So I'm not.
okay.
I'm not.
Okay,
we need to
moving
go.
Back to 2020.
So back
Let's
to
rope it
2020
back
because
in.
we're not even like in February yet.
Yeah.
It's been a year.
It's about to be a year for you.
I'm glad you have hobbies. I am. I'm glad.
Good time.
I don't know what to say.
You're all a bunch of dicks.
Oh,
Had to bring in the bag of dicks.
Just a bag of them. But
When he says that, though, he's truly offended.
It's true.
So
take no offense.
nobody said.
I
that.
kind of
offense
watched
taken.
it. I kind of watched WWF. So before they changed their
Yes.
name, and they had Stone Cold. You still had The Rock.
Yeah.
You had Triple H.
Yeah.
The freaking 3X guys.
DX, Shawn Michaels,
Who's the pair? The brothers,
The Undertaker.
Matt and Jeff
and-
Hardy.
Hardy brothers.
Oh yeah. Undertaker and his
Undertaker
brother
and
Kane with the
Yeah.
mask, and they were crazy.
And then we grew up, and
I actually kind of want to watch the retro wrestling with Hulk Hogan and
But-
Randy Savage.
get
No.
different interests.
Why?
Don't.
Really?
Is it that
Why?
bad?
That's where it's bad.
Really?
You got
Oh,
Hulk Hogan
oh,
doing
really?
a leg drop on someone, and that's like his finishing move, and that gets the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, but they still do the whole.
But more so, I just love Randy Savage's character.
Brother.
Yes, it's true.
When he was in the original Spider-Man.
He's all, and he just stared.
You going down.
the characters back
Just
then were
spawn.
amazing.
You remember,
that's,
though,
That's what I want to
He
watch.
was in the original Spider-Man, remember, with Tobey Maguire?
You got
yeah.
3 minutes of playtime.
Yeah, when he fights.
That
when he
was
first-
Randy
That was Randy
Savage?
Savage.
Yes.
He was just in normal clothes.
Yeah.
Bone size ready.
So, yeah, dude.
Yes.
Yeah. I loved how they went over the top back then with their personalities.
funny.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say to finish this out.
You already called his dicks.
Take it
Go.
back.
Go ask Jenny how frustrated I get over this. How many times has Jenny made fun of me?
Did he
We're not making fun. We just
Well,
stated
you're
our
making
opinion.
fun.
Negative,
No.
Ghost Rider.
not making fun of you specifically?
We're just making fun of you as
me
a
and Jenny have had
character.
conversations about this many a times.
I apologize. I didn't mean to offend you. There's a
I will
lot more
say,
in the
so
tank
here's
for
the thing.
later.
Okay, I will make this last point and then we'll move on. for as much crap as it gets for being fake.
It's not fake.
Reverb.
For as much crap as it gets for being fake, those bros can't have those bodies if they're not doing something. So they're doing some work in the back end, and they're
Hey,
working hard
what did you
to
say?
be where they're at.
All I gotta say
Was
is
unintentional.
we all went wrestling.
That's right, we did.
Freaking know that it is.
It is not fake.
It is.
I mean, fake's not the word I'd use, but I wouldn't say it's real either.
I will say that a lot of it is predetermined. But as far as putting your body out there, that is not fake.
But
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
The bumps and all that stuff.
It's a show.
And the
It's all a show.
The punches and stuff are fake, though.
it's a show. Like they're not really taking punches
I think-
to the face. But I gotta say, your body goes through hell.
yes.
Yeah.
Like
Again,
it
it's like
is
a live
show.
It's like a play, but with a lot more,
You're not helping your case
a
here.
lot more like I don't know, detriment to your body.
I'm having major like ready
Let's
to
move
rumble
on, guys.
I
flashes.
was gonna say
This has been like 20
Wrestling's
minutes
not
of wrestling.
It's having big
love it.
performance. It's a big
Anyways.
performance piece.
So, anyways,
Right?
back to
that fair?
back to 2020.
You know, speaking of, I was looking at celebrities and stuff that have died and just kind of on the wrestling thing. I know we're moving on, but I want to say that a wrestler, I think he was a wrestler and I can't remember his name, died in show. Like he died doing a move or having a move done on him or something. And I wish I remembered his name.
I remember one that fell. He fell off like a
that was Owen Hart.
wire.
That was back in the 90s.
And he died
swear.
on stage.
It was in the middle of a pay-per-view, and he actually, the cameras had to pan away, and he was coming down from the rafters, and
I don't know.
And anyways, one of the harnesses snapped, and he
Maybe it was like an amateur wrestling or something.
Are
I
you
don't
talking
know. but-
this year, 2020?
Yeah. I swear
Okay.
it was. It was like I looked up something and it was like 73 celebrities who have died in 2020.
Oh yeah, dude, we lost Sean Connery. We lost
Alex Trebek.
Alex Trebek.
Socket Trebek.
Sucker Trebek got here first.
Is it Little Richie? Is that his name?
Lionel Richie.
Lionel.
No.
Little Richie.
Oh, the piano.
rapper.
Yeah.
No.
Isn't that his
Little
name?
Richie, yeah.
Thank you.
Little Richie.
Okay.
It's Little Richie, not Lil.
Isn't there a Lionel
Lil
Richie?
Richie?
I used my
There's a
T's.
lot-
You
there is
guys
a
started
Lionel
saying Lil.
But also
Who
there
else?
was that Ukrainian flight that crashed in Tehran.
Oh, I
guys
got
remember
shot
that?
down, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like
Oh, that's right.
it was
Yeah.
shot down. What was it? I can't remember who shot it, but
Didn't
it
Iran
was like a
shoot it
mistake.
down?
I think it was.
Yeah.
It was a mistake,
Yeah.
and they claimed that their like air defenses went off prematurely or whatever. I mean, that's not something you want to have happen ever.
No
Yeah.
one wants premature stuff.
If I remember
No premature setting off. You know,
I think that's what like ended World War III from happening.
It's 'cause they
Iran-
screwed up so
Iran
bad.
was like on the edge, and then they accidentally shut down that plane, and then that's when they're like backed off and like, okay, we
we're
better
gonna-
stop.
we're gonna
while we're
chill
ahead.
out now.
No, because
while you're ahead, while you're behind.
yeah,
Who gave Ahmad the trigger?
Isn't his name Ahmed?
yeah, Ahmed.
Just throwing out a
Ahmad.
name. I don't know.
Wow.
So, and then still in January, then the first like recorded cases of the coronavirus pop up.
Yes.
That was in
Mike.
January?
Yeah.
That was in January. There were like, they were talking about a new disease in
Yeah.
2019, but it wasn't until 2020 that they actually like gave it a name
Said,
and were
"Hey."
recording it. And I remember thinking, this is just like all the other ones we've heard. The Zika, the
Swine
SARS,
flu.
swine flu,
H1N1,
avian flu,
mad cow.
all that stuff. I was like, nothing's going to happen. SARS, all that. Like we'd heard it before. We saw like the Chinese wearing masks and stuff. And I'm like, we've been through this. Like, no big deal. Nobody cares. And I just remember working through it. And almost every day I came back to work, something changed a little bit. Like all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're going to put out hand sanitizer everywhere. Well, okay. Oh, we have gloves if you want them. You know, we
Well, I
just have
think-
gloves. Oh, we're going to start wiping down people's devices with alcohol wipes. I'm like, what is happening here?
And then it was, oh, we're shut down.
Yeah,
No
straight
one's
up.
open.
I think I was seeing this that, yeah, it started out in December, and then they started like scanning people who were making trips to China and different things. And then the first reported case in the U.S. was the end of January, and it was a 30-something-year-old guy in Washington.
And then they locked down travel,
Yep,
and then that cruise line.
that's right.
Remember that
All
Princess
those people
Cruise
were caught,
got stuck in
on
Japan,
Oh yeah.
and they had it, and so they were like stuck for 2 weeks on dock.
So this was even weird for me, and this is gonna go back to the wrestling thing. Me and my wife just went to a Monday Night Raw. And
Hey, what you do in your bedroom is none of our business.
No, so it was. We were at Monday Night Raw
Wait, where?
in Salt Lake.
They come here?
Yes.
Oh, I actually did not know that.
Yes, they travel. Now they don't right now. They're stuck basically in one facility. But anyways, they were there, and then all of a sudden it was like literally 2 weeks later. Bam, they're shut down. No audience whatsoever. You're watching it live on TV, and it's quiet.
Is that the
With
same
no
time
audience.
they shut off all sports? Like, that was the craziest thing to me.
Yeah.
No
So
basketball, no football,
everything
no
got shut
hockey,
down.
nothing. I was like, what is happening?
Well, yeah,
When
they,
celebrities started,
and
or
it-
not athletes,
and
like
it literally
Kevin
w-
Durant and
Ooh, it was Thanos. It was a snap of a finger, and that was
Frickin'
it.
Thanos.
yeah. I just remember I took off because everything like major started happening on March 13th, and I can remember for two reasons.
yeah.
It was Friday the 13th.
Yep.
And
Yes.
it was my son's birthday. And then my daughter was born March 14th. And so I took that week off because I wanted to be home with my new baby. Well, then I just remember as like watching news and different things for that week of being off, I was just like, oh my gosh, is all this really happening? And then I remember getting a phone call from my work close to when I was ready to go back. And they were like, yeah, we're going to this week on, week off rotating schedule. We're splitting up into two teams, so there's less people working. And yeah, it got so weird.
Yeah.
I didn't get
that's-
affected by that. I worked through all the shutdowns because
I
I'm
worked
essential.
through everything.
Yeah, dude, my store, we shut down same time. It was like the 16th or 17th is when we actually like fully closed because we had to like finish some things.
Right.
But that blew my mind because as far as I had known, we'd never closed for anything. And they're all of a sudden one day they're like, yeah, we're gonna close for 2 weeks. We're like, what? And they're like, don't worry, you'll still get paid. And I'm like, sweet. but yeah,
was
they're
my
like,
concern, too.
they're like, we're gonna close for 2 weeks. You know, slow the spread, all that stuff. And I just remember that. I think that was the scariest moment of this year because the uncertainty was so heavy. And like 2 days after we close, what happens? Utah gets hit with a freaking earthquake.
No.
Yeah. That's
oh my
right.
gosh, I forgot all about that.
Yeah. So like we had the weight of there's this pandemic happening. We're closing the world. You're not at work. The
Everybody's
Earth's now
out of toilet
shaking.
paper.
Right?
Oh, yeah, the whole toilet paper thing.
Toilet paper.
Oh,
Bro,
I remember
bidet is the way, my
I remember
friend.
the
Yes.
memes when it's like, oh, there was one. It cracked me up. It was like CDC's. It was like CDC person, CDC, and it was like a conversation. It was like something like, oh yeah, this is a virus pandemic. Oh, okay, so I should probably stay indoors. Yes, that's a great idea. And buy all kinds of toilet paper. What? No, like this. Is, no,
don't do that.
What? No, this is a respiratory virus. Okay, I'm gonna go buy toilet paper. What?
Dude, and
Yeah, I didn't understand the toilet paper thing. That
No, I
didn't
didn't
make
get
any
that.
sense to me.
None at all. But like there were no like I'd never seen Walmart so bare
Yeah.
or any store because
You
every
know-
store was like that.
It had us nervous. Jenny had this analogy that was perfect. It was like you're in the middle, like we weren't scared, we were fine, but it was one of those things where she said it like it's a stampede, where if you're in the middle of a stampede and you stand still because you don't want to be a part of it, you're going to get trampled. So you almost have to run with them just to stay alive. And it was like that with the grocery stores. It's like
You had to go.
you
shopping.
had to go and stock up on everything because when you did actually need it, is it even going to be there? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Exactly.
that was
Like-
the frustrating part for us. Is it
Yeah.
was like, I'm not worried, but there's nothing. Should
No,
I
exactly.
be worried?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
it causes that domino effect, and everyone just buys out stuff. I was worried just because I currently don't have a ton of food storage, and this was kind of a wake up call. It was like, balls, I need to like have a good supply of something. And so initially at that time, it was just like bam, 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 bam. So we like ran to the store, tried to
That
buy
was-
some stuff.
Jenny sent me the morning of the earthquake. She was like, "Go to the store." And
Yeah,
I was
straight
like,
up.
"Whoa, man! Okay."
You're like, I don't want to be inside or outside. I don't know where I want to be right now.
I just ate a bunch of creamed peas.
So even for me, because working for Red Bull, our 12 packs, I mean, we sell them for anywhere from 20 to 25 bucks for a 12 pack on the shelf. I remember at that time it was early April and all this was happening and we were running out of 12 packs, which never happens ever. We could not keep all of our multi-packs and stuff. We couldn't keep them on the shelf just as well at the grocery store couldn't.
Wow.
Just because, and it's like I'm sitting here thinking, like I watched some people, they were going to their grocery, like in their cart, they were throwing in like 4 or 5 12 packs of Red Bull.
It's funny.
Dropping them in
It
and
doesn't
walking.
seem essential.
Hey,
I was about
here's
to
why.
say that.
Here's why. It's a good bartering system. I got you, Red Bull. What are you gonna give me?
It's currency.
It is
The future.
They
Maybe
bet-
Dane Cook was right.
That'd
We
make
should have
one
all
good
got
night.
ketchup packets.
I
It
like
just-
that reference. I like that reference.
It comes down to what the fact that Tony was saying. I think people were just so desperate to have anything that they were just throwing anything and everything in their grocery cart and walking with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were one of the only families that were not stocking up. Like we just, I was like, these people are just being crazy. Like we'll be
No,
fine.
there was definitely extreme. I was trying to stock up. Like I was literally trying to say, if it came down to it, we couldn't get out of the house for 2 weeks because that was like the thing. I was like, let's get a bunch of cans, let's get a bunch of noodles and stuff, and we're good. Like we didn't even buy toilet paper. I had a bidet. I could care less about toilet paper. Like,
That's when I bought my bidet
Yeah.
because I couldn't
A
find
lot of
toilet
people
paper,
did.
so I went
A
to a
lot of-
bidet.
Dude, I should have bought stock and bidet back
Right?
in
real,
January.
dude.
Yeah.
That
The
and
second you-
plexiglass.
Yep.
Yeah.
The second you saw that toilet paper had disappeared, you're like, bidets. Put all my money in bidets.
I went on a vegetarian chili cleanse.
What's in there?
Nobody wanted the vegetarian chili, I guess.
Because
I got that.
can you blame them?
No.
That was also
Because
another
then
funny
he-
thing to
with
see what
that,
was on the shelves.
Eating that, then he didn't need toilet
Bro.
paper. It just came out.
I'm not saying anything.
I didn't even have to flush. It went straight down.
I'm not saying anything bad about anyone who eats gluten free, but I do find it very funny that in a pandemic where food is flying off the shelves, all that's on them is gluten free food. So either it's real important or it's not.
It's like, honey, we're on the verge of starvation. Yeah, but it's gluten free.
Give me death, please. I'll take death. Now,
I'm
on
gonna
the
go
flip
start
side,
grazing on the backyard.
on the flip side, the pandemic was extremely weird being like a father to a pregnant wife
Yeah.
and like having to go through all that stuff as a father. There was a lot of uncertainty on that side of the spectrum where it's like, I can't go with you to your doctor's appointments today because they're only
they
allowing
won't let
one person in. And there was a lot of uncertainty if I was even going to be able to be there during delivery.
One person. Jess, can you leave the baby out, please? Only one person at a time. But it's like, what?
It's in me.
I can't.
Yeah,
See,
so
that-
that was the weird thing. And
Yeah.
did you guys have any panic about being able, like you being in the delivery room?
Well, see, that's just it. So, like I said, we had her March 14th, right as everything was going crazy. So,
right.
So there
right,
was
right.
still some restrictions. They were screening everybody walking in the door, but no one under 18 was allowed in the hospital. So Brinley and Jude were not allowed in. Broke our heart because they couldn't see her until we left the hospital. And then we were only allowed 2 visitors, and I counted as a visitor. So it was usually me and somebody else, and yeah. So like, luckily, even though that seemed strict at the time, we got in there just in time because we found out right after that they started really locking down.
Like the whole medical side of things was so odd because you had people literally on their deathbeds who people could not come in and visit them.
Yeah.
Like that's so sad.
Well, and
That's
here's
what
the thing
breaks
that
my heart.
sucks, and because I look back at it, and in March, this all made sense. There was so much unknown. You didn't know what was going on, so we were just like, okay, whatever. 2 weeks, slow the spread, sure. Wearing masks, awesome. Washing hands, doing all that stuff, right? Now, December comes around, and I look back, and I'm like, I honestly think that a lot of that stuff did more harm than good.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have families who lost like loved ones, parents, children, grandparents, all that, and they couldn't even see them. I remember seeing a video of these dudes at their funeral for their mom, no, for a son, and like they were all 6 feet away in their chairs individually, and the son like scooted over to his mom who's sobbing, and he's like hugging on her, and they like came running out and like, no, get away, you have to push, like. I don't know. That's the
doesn't
most
even make
insane
sense.
thing to me to watch
See,
these
and
things happen.
That's like, yeah, I've heard that people had to FaceTime. It's like you've got a family member on their deathbed in the hospital and you have to say goodbye over FaceTime.
See, and that didn't make sense to me because if they're on their deathbed,
Well, it's so the healthy ones didn't get infected.
but were they infected?
I don't know.
Probably not.
That's my point. Is like
exactly.
I wonder
test
about
them and let me in to see my freaking
Yeah.
grandpa.
Put me in a friggin' suit.
Well,
I
at the
don't
times
care.
they didn't have the tests the way
Yeah.
they do now, though.
Yeah.
Makes
Yeah,
you
well,
wonder,
and even now they're.
it makes you wonder the social reverberal effects of
Oh yeah.
what this year.
I've
has done.
wondered that, like in like the young generations, like my kids right now, especially like my 10-year-old and stuff. How is she gonna like? Is this affecting her more than we really think? She acts like it's no big deal, but like they're wearing masks to school.
Or not even going to school. Like Kaylee hasn't even stepped foot. Well, I guess she has for a couple things, but
But
she
like
takes school on the computer.
my infant. She comes into this world seeing people wearing masks and stuff. Like I don't know.
Like I was gonna say with Alden, he goes to daycare, and the daycare teacher, she's like, it's weird that seeing kids play now. They have like the fake doctor kits and stuff. What they're playing now is, hey, you got to get this shot because else you're gonna get the virus and this and that. And she goes,
gotta get
before
the
they were
Rona.
playing different types of games, and now they're all focused on this whole thing. So it just I'm like,
Like seriously,
how's this gonna affect them later on?
Yeah.
So kind of somewhat off subject. When I was looking at 2020 recap and stuff, I saw too that how this has affected the economy. I saw that the Dow, I want to
Crashed.
say it was, it crashed more in one day than like it
was-
ever has in history or
yeah,
something
it was
like that.
one of the biggest. I think it was one of the biggest stock market crashes since like the Great Depression.
Isn't
And
that
then-
because everybody just took their money out? Just
Yeah,
took it out and ran?
Oh, I mean, yeah, the stock market hates uncertainty.
Yeah.
What's more uncertain than a pandemic about a
Yeah.
disease nobody knows anything
Well,
about?
and then shortly after that, it was like so many millions of companies went out of business or unemployment. Excuse me, like so many million
skyrocketed.
people claiming unemployment, businesses going out. But yeah, on the money thing, working for a financial institution, that's what was blowing my mind is people coming in wanting to withdraw thousands and thousands of dollars of cash to stash it in their house because they were afraid. And it's just like, I don't know. I guess in my brain where it's like, no, the company's insured, everything's fine. In my head, it's like it's safer in the account than it is in your home. If your home catches fire or
get
something,
robbed.
you're gone. It's
Well,
done.
I mean, like, think something else I've been thinking about this year is like, look at a lot of the big hit movies from the last few years. Almost a lot of them are about dystopian futures, where like
Mad
look at stuff
Max?
like Mad Max or The Hunger Games and stuff like that. I honestly think that people see this crazy uncertainty, and immediately that's where their mind goes. We're gonna be, like foraging for The Walking Dead is a popular TV show. We're gonna be scouring the country, foraging for pills
I'll
and
tell you right
and
now,
things
you
right
can-
now.
You can kill me when that happens.
I've always said that if I have to run from something, I will seriously consider whether or not I actually want to live.
Yep. I'm right there with you.
Like, do I wanna? I don't want to run though.
Don't start at my foot. Eat up the top so I die.
End it quick.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But this is all stuff like in March. Like we haven't even talked about how like President Trump was impeached in January
Oh my gosh, I forgot
yeah.
about that.
and then acquitted of it in February.
Well, sorry. There was one thing I wanted to get on there was in May, right? We're giving birth to our daughter. And at that time, because we run a vlog, we get input from everyone from all over the world. At that point, dude, it was so crazy because there were so many moms following along on our journey, going through basically the same motions that we were. And it was crazy hearing the differences in care across the world. Some people, it was like just the mom is allowed into the delivery room, just the mom. So we were getting stories of mothers giving birth to their child without the father there, without anyone there to support them. Luckily, Jess was able to have 2 visitors, so me and then someone else. But because we didn't want anyone to feel like a favorite or cause any drama, we were just like, no, it's just gonna be me. But it was such a weird time to give birth to a baby.
Could you imagine, as like a father, you watch your wife and unborn baby go into this delivery room, and what if one or both didn't make
Don't
it,
come out.
and that was your last time seeing them? Like, oh,
Yeah. There was so much, in my opinion, stupidity, like almost like I guess stupidity is a really
there was
tough
too much
word.
focus on one thing.
It was just like overbearing to where almost like common sense didn't even matter.
No,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
It was
I feel
like
like it still doesn't.
It is.
Yeah.
Look
Like
at what they came out with for Thanksgiving. I don't know if you guys remember this. It was, you could go to a funeral and have up to 25 people at a funeral as long as you're social distancing and wearing masks and stuff like that. But then they recommended for Thanksgiving dinners to only have 6 people at a Thanksgiving dinner.
Well,
so that's
and-
why the meme started going around that said, this
Oh.
Thursday is going to be...
Sorry, Grandma, gotta
yeah.
put you down.
Well, it was
The funeral for the turkey.
Yeah, going to the funeral for the turkey.
Yes.
We can
Oh.
have 25 of the closest friends, show up for it, please, and
Yeah.
pay your
Well,
respects to
and-
this turkey.
Another thing that's so weird about it, right, is you're limited to people in your home, but yet you can go shopping.
Yeah.
As long as you're
Well, and then-
willing to spend money, you're fine in an area with hundreds
And
and hundreds of people.
A lot of the
protest.
stores now, like I know there's...
Oh, no, it wasn't. It was like, yeah.
Well-
Protest.
Or you can
Yeah.
protest.
Well, as long as things were on fire and you were,
Exactly.
beating each other.
Oh, that's a whole other thing
Yeah.
too. All the protests and stuff.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
the protests that started,
The rioting and everything.
and it still hasn't fully stopped. Like
The rioting's still going?
in some places, yeah,
Really?
yeah. Like there's so many crazy things. Like Minneapolis, went up in flames overnight.
But like all the defacing of like the statues of just,
changing of names,
Yeah.
just trying to destroy the history of our country.
Oh yeah,
Right
Washington.
now-
the football team, Washington football team.
the
Wash-
latest one is the
and
Cleveland Indians.
I was going to say
Yeah.
the Cleveland Indians.
105 years of history is
Yep.
going to be changed.
Well,
Gone.
I just want to point out the irony of removing all these people. So you took off Aunt Jemima. You got rid of the Land O'Lakes Native American woman. Uncle Ben,
Uncle
I think, was under
Ben's,
fire.
yes, yeah.
All these things. You literally removed those people of color from being represented in their own product. Like, how does that not
I think
register
the
with
issue
people?
is I don't know. There's a thing behind it how they were represented, but
yeah.
the funny thing is
They're represented by making delicious syrup.
I was gonna say the funny thing is you got people like I don't know. I can't speak for everybody else.
Yeah.
I never saw it that way. I didn't look at Aunt Jemima and go, "Oh, you were a slave back in the 1900s," or something like that. I didn't. I
if
don't know.
anything, as a kid growing up, things like this brought equality to us
Yes.
Yeah.
because
Well,
it was a part of our daily life. It was
Yeah.
like, oh, that was just a thing.
And that's what I think the problem is this year is that we were past it. We were like, yeah, it's normal. Like, it shouldn't matter who's on that box.
Mm-hmm.
If someone made a good product, I like their product. But everyone's like, no, we want you to go from up here and being tolerant to coming back here and calling everything
See, that's what I
racist.
think frustrated me is some of the reasoning for the rioting and protest is you had protesters who thought they were standing for something, and then you have somebody who actually represents what's being protested, and they're like, "No, you're stupid." Like,
Yeah, no, I
You know
know
what-
what you mean.
you
Yeah,
know
they
what I
come in
mean?
and be
Like-
like, well, no, you're wrong. But they would get mad at that person that they
Yeah.
were claiming to fight for.
right.
And I'm like I sit here and
Like,
look
I
at
saw
it and I'm
one
like, I don't, my
over the
brain
whole
doesn't
police
work
over the
same way
whole
yours
police
does.
thing. I had where it was like the Black Lives Matter with the police brutality whole deal, and there was a white person getting mad at a black officer who was like, that there's not like
I don't know what to tell you. This is a weird conversation.
This is a strange place for me to be.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know.
because that's another one. The death of what's his name,
George Floyd.
George Floyd.
That was horrible though.
Yeah.
See, and,
that
and
was
no
horrible.
one.
I'm
no
not.
one should ever go through that.
I'm not just. Yeah, that was a horrible,
Exactly.
horrible situation. But again, it was like that was a bad choice of an individual, not an entire police
Not
force.
as a
Like,
collective. Yeah.
Exactly, and that individual should be punished for what that individual
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
and yes, there's bad people out there because unfortunately, from there you hear more and more about police killings that may or may not have been in the right, and
Well,
it's terrible.
And
but
let's not forget that this was also all an election year.
that's
An
right.
election year of probably one of the most controversial presidents we've ever had. You either loved him like hardcore or you hated him hardcore.
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah,
Most people.
I didn't love him. I didn't hate him.
Yeah.
Well, but see, you
There
already
were-
know
there-
from this conversation that we are very much in the middle and not on the other ends of
Yeah,
everyone
we're
else's
very
crazy
much in the
world.
middle. Like there are a lot of things that I do not like about President Trump, but there are a lot of things that I do.
Let
like
me
that
let
he
me
does.
add this.
Same.
I feel like you either love him or you hate him if you follow politics very closely.
Yes.
If you know 100% of what's going on, then you either love him or you hate him.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I don't follow politics as close as I probably should, so therefore my opinion's kind of washy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, the reason I bring that up is because I honestly look at a lot of stuff that happened this year, and I blame a lot of the media for doing us all a disservice
Yes.
in trying to make everything look way worse than it was because they hated Donald Trump so much.
Yeah.
And they wanted him to be blamed for most things. And so the byproduct of that is that everyone in our country is like, what the F is going on? Like, what
That's the
I could
thing.
die tomorrow. Like, what's going on?
That's the thing is you didn't know what to believe. That's what sucks about this whole thing is you don't know what to believe, what to believe.
Yeah.
Well, it's in everything. It's not only it's news media, it's social media,
It's
everything.
in sports. Did you see? I saw this just the other day. Sport, like, what is it? Ratings for watching sports have like plummeted farther than ever before, and it's all because they're pushing this stuff that nobody wants to see when you watch a football
watching-
game. You
Well,
want to watch a football game.
I
most
mean,
of the time.
I don't agree with that. Me personally, I'm a huge football fan, but I haven't been watching because literally the teams are gutted. Like it's almost not even fun because you don't even get to see the majority of the great players on the field.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, where
Like
are they?
at the beginning of the year, a lot of players had the option to either opt in or opt out, and they had to make a deadline decision before the season kicked off.
Like because of
Because
the
of COVID.
pandemic?
Because of
oh,
COVID.
see, and I didn't know that either.
So a lot of players were like, I'm not going to play this year.
Denver played a game without having a quarterback.
Yeah.
Like they
Yes.
did not
Denver
have
did
Well, that
not
was
have a
because
single
they had a
quarterback.
few of them come
They're-
down with coronavirus.
Their quarterback was what, the third
It
string
was
wide receiver.
It was our practice squad wide receiver, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a backup quarterback in college, and that's what made him the most tenured on the team.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
I was against my boys.
Yeah. It was bad.
That's insane.
So I mean, there.
See, and I had no idea about that.
Yeah. So it's been a terrible year for sports.
Not to mention too, like we kind of said with the wrestling thing a little bit, the audience, like watching a
Yeah.
sports thing, even on
With
TV.
the cardboard
Well, and it-
cutouts.
Like I said, it was literally a snap of a finger, though. One week you're watching sports and you've got fans in the arenas going crazy. And then all of a sudden, it's literally like the next day, nobody.
Yeah.
Everybody's quiet. They're playing
Yeah.
these games or doing whatever. And it's
I
just
watched a UFC
empty.
fight that was that same way, and it was crazy because you just hear them thumping on each other.
I was like, can you imagine they get
It
close
was
and like
so
6 feet, 6 feet?
No, they were going at it, but there's nobody cheering or anything in the crowd, so you're just hearing these
just
guys
hear
just
these-
wail on
Oh
each
my
other.
gosh.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Sounds
I
like
heard-
someone slapping a ham.
I heard that with what was it? Or just the audio in general with other sports. They had to be careful because you can now, without the roar of the audience, you could hear the athletes swearing and all that kind of stuff. They had to be careful with what they played live on air because.
Well, and so while thinking about all this again, back to like the rioting and stuff, it was in March after, again, COVID lockdowns, earthquake, and then there was the riot in Salt Lake
Yeah.
because of all this, which is again another thing that I've never seen happen in Utah.
Right. I feel like at that point, Salt Lake's like, we want to join in.
Right?
It's
No,
like,
for
what
real.
are you even
there was
doing?
there was an overturned cop car set on fire. There was a dude with a bow and arrow that got beat up, and then his car got overturned and set on
Well,
fire.
and the best part about all this is people think, oh, if I'm part of a riot, I can't get in trouble. Wrong.
Oh, bro, I actually found
Wrong.
people who tipped over the cars and they got arrested.
I love it.
It's
I love to
crazy.
hear it.
I'll
I
be
really
like-
do.
I'll be walking and all of a sudden I just feel like I'm in an alternate reality. At certain times, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
There
almost
was-
think back and you're like, did I dream that? And you're like, oh no, that actually
Honestly,
happened.
though, that week when the riots were going on, all that crazy stuff, and like toilet paper was not found anywhere, I'm sitting there like, I've got a daughter on the way.
Yeah.
I've got a daughter in my house. Like,
Oh, we
do
stocked
I-
up on wipes.
Do I need to? Well, my mind went to the other direction. Is like riots are happening. Do I need to like stock up on things to protect my family?
Guns.
Yeah,
Dude,
That was a big
gun
influx.
sales skyrocketed.
yeah, because it was
Like
just
2
like
million new owners.
yeah,
just
so
in
much
that month or something like
uncertainty,
that?
and you're like, I don't want someone breaking into my house looking for valuables because all of a sudden now they're out of a job and need
Endangers
something.
my family. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I couldn't even imagine your guys' position with that. Like
Yeah,
a new
it's-
baby in the
it's
family.
scary, yeah.
Well, yeah, our brain, I guess, luckily in a way, didn't go that route. We went more towards just survival as far as food. Like I ran out, I bought formula. Like even though Jenny was breastfeeding, we bought formula because like, what if suddenly you stop producing and stuff? And then of course diapers, all that stuff. But
I mean, I was definitely looking into like handguns and stuff and like ammo, but like ammo was almost impossible to find.
Still is, yeah.
So hard to get your hands on all kinds of stuff. But yeah, there was so much uncertainty that it was a wake up call to like we need to prepare better than we are prepared.
I don't know
Yeah.
if anybody else felt this too, but like I don't go to church regularly. But as soon as I hear all these churches are shutting down, I'm like, oh, what do you know?
Right? That was another thing
what I
for
mean?
me. That was
Yeah.
another thing for me that I was
Yeah.
like, oh no, it is real. This is real.
well, see, that's what kind of had us going because in the LDS religion last year, so 2019, they started coming out with 2-hour church instead of 3-hour church, and for that
Doing
third
church and home.
for that third hour, you do church at home. They provided pamphlets and like booklets on how to teach your family and your kids at home.
All
and
the
they,
lesson plans and
They
everything.
started setting it up for home church back in the beginning of 2019, and then all of a sudden this happens, and it's just like, whoa, like I don't know,
Like what? They knew.
yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't mean to press this, but we need to get onto other topics. We're pressing some time.
Oh
here.
man,
Yeah,
but there's just. I mean, I guess we forgot how thick 2020 is.
Yeah.
She thick. She real thick.
Thick. She real
But I mean,
thick.
I guess yeah. To speed it up a little, I just remember. I feel like March to May was just like the craziest time this year because everything was like boom, 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 boom. 2 weeks to slow the spread turned into 2 months off for me, and I was mostly in a hammock doing internet like phone calls and stuff with the store. That was the weirdest time. I was literally in a hammock almost every day for hours.
See, that was the one time I was glad I did not have internet
How
because
many people-
when they split us into 2 groups and had the rotating shifts, the shift that was not at the branch was supposed to be doing work at home, but since I didn't have internet, I just got the time off.
I think workforce has been changed like forever.
Drastically.
Forever.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, you have all those people.
Working from home.
I heard this. Like, you have people who have always wanted to do their job at home, but their work was like, no, you can't do it at home. But now they're all doing it at home, and work's like, you know what, we're going to keep you at home.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot cheaper to
way
pay someone to
cheaper.
stay at their house than to keep a brick and mortar building and all the
But yeah, it's
necessities.
just, I mean, so much has happened this year.
Yeah.
Well, and now I'm kind of jumping ahead. I don't know what I'm skipping in the middle here, but now the big thing is the vaccines.
Well, don't forget. So, I mean, the election comes and is the sketchiest thing ever. So now that's up in the air. Now we have no faith in whether or not our election actually functions correctly. And there's a vaccine coming out, and there's all kinds of stuff. This is the year of the conspiracy
You're not
theorists.
just saying.
I'm not just saying. I'm saying. But like, this is the year of the conspiracy theorist, and it's because, I mean, you look at Corona, And we're this far into it, and there's still so much miscommunication. Nobody has come out and said for sure, this, these are the facts. This is what's happening. Everyone's like, no, do this. Actually, it's this still. And it's like,
Well, the CDC
been like 10
changes.
months.
Yeah, CDC changes their rules every other week.
They went from 14 days to quarantine to now only like 7. And remember when their death totals were changed?
Yeah,
They're like, oh, we messed up. It's actually a lot lower. It's like, wait, what? No.
Yeah.
hold
No
on.
mask. No mask.
Yeah, masks were bad in the first of the year. Now you're a terrible human if you don't put one on.
I heard a thing about masks just today. So apparently, like the major doctor that I don't know his name, Jenny was telling me about this.
Fauci.
Yeah. He was doing research on the Spanish flu back in the 20s ish.
Freaking 20s. They just suck all
Yeah.
around. Nobody ever celebrate the 20s ever.
And back then so he did this research that everybody who died of the Spanish flu in quotations actually was dying of pneumonia, and they found out that what was causing the pneumonia was them wearing masks. Because it was like keeping in
Yeah, I
the
gotta
moisture
Fact
and
check
stuff.
that one.
Yeah, I
gotta
mean,
fact
there's
check
there's
that.
so much.
That's
uncertainty.
the perfect example of what's going on.
Yeah.
There's so much information from so many sources. Nobody trusts the actual media anymore. So where
Nobody
do
trusts
we find
actual
true
doctors or anything
information?
anymore.
Yeah, nobody can agree, and it's just crazy. Like,
Everyone has a narrative that they push, and that's the worst part about all of it.
exactly. Like you come to me and tell me how we all need to stay home and not go out, but then people are trying to sell very expensive things to us at the same time, even though nobody has money because we're all staying home without a job. Like, there's too many conflicting things. This year sucks.
It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't.
At the end of the day, we've survived. We here have gotten through a lot of it thus far. And I think it just really comes down to, like, we're all in this together. We're all humans. Everyone's got differing opinions. They're on different sides, but we all need to come together and just be patient with each other, have a sense of humor, and we can make it through this stuff.
Well, stop taking everything so personally.
I wish that
Seriously.
there's people out there. I wish I could just grab them, like people as a whole, not individuals, but people as a
people is an individual. I just want to grab you.
people. I just want to grab them and just be like, lighten up.
Yeah.
Like, just, gosh, I know that, Corona sucks and all of this and politics and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, for crying out loud, just, we're here together, like as a whole, as an earth. Like,
Chill out, Karen.
You want to know what's funny about all this is I got off of Instagram and Facebook, and I literally deleted them from my phone.
Yeah.
And I even I never watched news anyway, so I had no idea what was going on in the world for
And
weeks.
you were happy.
I was happy.
Yeah.
But the worst part is I'd go out and I'd be like, oh, I forgot my mask.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
I was like, oh man.
I every time I do that, I like yell. Like I turn around, I'm like, forgot my stupid my mask and stuff.
Yeah.
So everyone knows that I hate it.
So you're in the position I am, being self-employed. Being self-employed, you're like, oh no,
You're in your own world.
what's gonna happen? I let my head go a little dark for a minute, and I was like, no, I'm just gonna do what I can do every day. And
Chris,
that's
there's
what I did.
always going to be cars with dents.
Always.
Especially if Mad Max is our future.
Yeah, but I get paid in spam or what?
Milk. Mother's milk.
Spam with
It'll
the
be
tip of
mother's milk.
Twinkies. I don't know, but it's just
Snowballs.
It got to my head, and I really did have to adjust the company a lot this year because I went from this, which was not in as high demand, as going to another route and figuring that. And so you can always adjust. The thing is if you calm down, take a deep breath, we can all get through it. We can all adjust, and we can all be okay.
Just wait.
Yeah.
Patience.
Yeah.
Patience, sense of humor, kindness.
I mean, and use common sense, right?
Yeah.
Like if you are, what's the word that they use?
Scared?
No, where you're you're sensitive. You're
Offended?
no. Like your immune system compromised,
Yeah.
right? Like use common sense. If your immune system is compromised, stay home, take care of yourself, wear a mask when you go out. Ask for help, stuff like that. But for the majority of the population, like
Let me live my life. That's why I love America.
Like, I mean, we decided months ago we were all going to stay home. We were all going to do this to flatten the curve. We weren't
Did
going to
it.
kill the curve. We weren't going to flatline it. We were going to slow the curve. And we have more than slowed the curve. And thank God now there's a vaccine, right? Like they're distributing the vaccine and the people that need it most are going to get it. But for me and my family, we're not going to vaccinate.
I don't think I'm going to either, unless I get more hard data. Like,
Yeah.
Like you look at the facts for people under 70, dude, under 70 is, unless you have an underlying health issue, most
usually about 2
90,
also.
99.999, what is it, 99.96%?
It's 99. Yeah, it's like 99.957
You're gonna be fine.
or something like that.
I mean, like, if it scares you, fine. Take
Do
care
you?
of you.
I was
what you
gonna
gotta
say,
do.
I
Do
can say
you?
firsthand,
Yeah.
Jenny and I and the kids, we got it. We tested positive, and the only effect was our taste and smell.
Like, I
And
feel
it wasn't, I don't know.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, this is my biggest thing. Like, coming back to what I said earlier about focus. The problem is that everyone focused so hard on just the coronavirus that all these other problems went skyrocketing because people who had other diseases, serious diseases, didn't go to the doctor. They wouldn't go in to get help. They wouldn't go in for procedures because they were scared. And the rules were so just ridiculous. So I mean, but think of all the people who are stuck in their houses who don't live with anyone.
Yeah.
Suicide rates skyrocketed. Like,
Well, and
depression went
The
off
hospitals
the charts.
being overran with COVID cases, so then the people who do have serious issues can't even get in.
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's like, how many of
It's
the?
like-
I mean, I'm not trying to like.
We're not trying to downplay COVID.
No.
Yeah,
COVID
I'm
is
not
very
trying to lighten
real.
this at all. Yeah. But it's like, how many of those people in the hospital could have avoided that if they would have just, I don't know, stayed home
I think-
initially, or I don't know.
My main thinking this whole year has been that we live with an amount of calculated risk always.
Oh, yeah.
When you get in your car, there is always a chance, even bigger than COVID, that you will die from a car crash.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many things, and it's stuff we have to do to have any sort of quality of life.
Oh yeah, and just like you were saying, people who live by themselves, you know, stuff like that, depression's skyrocketing, suicides are skyrocketing. Like, the pure fact that people are unemployed that really shouldn't be unemployed right now, that is a huge stressor and causing so much more harm, I feel, than the actual virus itself.
Well, in this whole, like, essential worker thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, they came
that's
out
such a
like
gray
essential
area.
worker, and you're like, I mean, but these companies are essential. Like, I've seen so many entrepreneurs and stuff, their livelihoods destroyed for something they've worked their entire lives.
Yeah.
And it's just taken away from them in an instant. And it just sucks. I feel like we are very blessed. We definitely are. Like, don't get
Yeah.
us wrong. We are very blessed in that we all have our families. Like, and honestly, if I'm going to be stuck somewhere, I want it to be with my family.
Exactly.
So, like,
Yeah.
Yes.
so
100%.
I've got to, like, watch my baby grow up, you know? Like, when you're working 40 hours a week at a job, you don't get that. So honestly, in a weird way, I've been blessed because of Corona, because I've been at home watching her learn to walk and do all these crazy things that I probably would have missed.
now,
See, that's me too with my baby.
yeah.
Luckies.
Now, on the flip side, we went
Nothing
to
changed for me.
They just got more annoying.
Exactly.
on the flip side, and this is the last thing I want to say about coronavirus because I feel like it's been played up so much this year anyway that everyone's kind of
That
done
is
with it.
like the theme of
It
2020.
really is. But on the flip side of this entire conversation, we went back to Ohio to visit Jess's family for Thanksgiving. And really, the big reason why we went back east is because Paige was born this year, and Elsie, Jess's grandma, is 98, and we wanted Paige to meet Elsie and Elsie to meet Paige, you know, because she loves babies, right? We want grandma to meet the child, and there was so much uncertainty just heading there. We didn't know, you know, are we gonna have to wear masks at the house? Are we gonna have to self-quarantine before we can actually visit and all that stuff? And Elsie was like the least worried about of everyone. And we were most concerned about Elsie, right? Like, we didn't want to bring something because we had to fly there. We had to go through multiple airports, all this stuff. And we were cautious, but there's only so much you can do. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? We had a 2-year-old and a newborn. Well, I mean, infant really. But you're not going to stop that 2-year-old from touching things and putting things in her, you can do as much as you can. But our biggest concern was like, what if we bring something in and Elsie gets it and, that's the last straw for her. But her mindset was like, look, guys, I may not be here next year anyway.
Yeah.
I'd rather meet
Exactly.
Yeah.
and spend time with my family during the holidays knowing that I will get to see you at least this round. And this is from a 98-year-old. And I'm like, that's my mindset from where all these hospitalizations have gone, like not being able to see your grandpa on their deathbed or, not being able to see the infant, your newborn coming into the world, stuff like that is like, yeah, I get that there's risk. But what if on the other side, there's worse? You don't get to see them
Exactly.
again.
Yeah.
You don't get to say your goodbye. You don't get to welcome them in the world. Like I don't know. That's a risk I'm willing to personally take.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Exactly. I get it. And before we wrap up, we'll just do some quick honorable mentions. Because again, this was 2020. There was more stuff.
lots of stuff.
Lots of stuff.
Remember the murder hornets?
I was just going to bring them up.
They came and went so fast, dude.
They did,
It was
dude.
like all headline news, and then
I remember seeing a meme and it was like what? It was like months after. It was like, what happened to the murder hornets? And some guy commented, and he's like, that was just a filler episode.
for real,
But
though.
dude, they
I really feel like it was like society's way of trying to distract people from Corona, and then it's like, oh, it's not working. Get rid of it.
those things were like 2 inches big,
Yeah.
massive hornets, and so the Japanese honeybees are like kind of their enemies. They're like nemesis. They would fly. So a murder hornet would fly into their nest, and the honeybees would set a trap for him. Because it was a scout, because it'd go find the nest, and then it'd tell its
Horner
murder
brothers.
buddies,
It's
its
Horner
murder buddies,
brothers.
and they'd come back and kill everyone. Well, anyways, they'd go in there, and you could see them like, I watched a video, it was awesome. They shake their like bodies to like talk to each other, and so they set a trap, and this murder hornet's in there, and he's like huge compared to them, cruising around, looking around. All of a sudden, one of them jumps onto it, like a bee just jumps on top of him. All of them jump on top of him. And this is the crazy thing. Do you know how they kill it?
Have you heard this?
No, this
This
is
is
new.
this is
This
the
is-
craziest thing ever.
They vibrate their bodies to 115 degrees Fahrenheit.
And
Because
they
a
Exactly.
cook
murder,
it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
a murder hornet can only survive up to 114, and a honeybee can survive up to 116.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
So they were literally almost killing themselves in order to kill these scouts.
And they
from
roasted alive, dude.
Yep.
the best
That's
ever.
crazy.
I want to know
Nature.
how the heck they figured that out,
Right? Dang nature, you're scary.
right?
They got a temperature gauge. This goes up. Oh, 115.
Some guy in the back's like, oh, slow it down. Oh.
Well done. Well done.
But how about this? So Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested. She was Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend,
Oh yeah.
who was
Yeah.
also involved in all the nasty crap that sicko was.
Yeah.
She was arrested, but we haven't heard anything about that since. So either she got suicided or isn't talking. I don't know what happened there.
She got suicide.
There's a new verb for you guys. She got suicided.
She got suicided. Do you guys remember the Beirut explosion?
Oh my god.
That's right. That huge
I
one.
forgot
Yes.
about that.
That massive. It was a fireworks warehouse that went up.
Was
its
it? I
head.
have to admit,
it was.
I forgot about
If
That
you
was
watch
honestly
the
cool
videos-
to watch.
It was,
It-
but
I'm
it was very
sorry.
sad.
It was.
But I get you.
Yeah.
If you watch the videos, you see fireworks going off in the beginning.
What was that other one? So there was a Beirut one, but then there was another one.
Beirut one was the huge one that left like the crater, and there's tons of videos of people like far away seeing the cloud like dissipate.
Because
or-
wasn't there another one more recent than Beirut that was like this weird warehouse near a waterfront that wasn't, and it
No,
was
that was
containing
Beirut.
a bunch of stuff that wasn't supposed to be near water. And
Well,
they were
the
like,
Beirut
why are you
one-
guys storing this stuff here?
the Beirut one was right by the water.
Okay.
Because when it created the crater, like the water actually rushed into it and filled it.
Yeah, dude.
But
that
it
one
was
wild.
it was like ammonium nitrate or something. It was a fireworks factory or storage place, but there was also something else there. And so like the fireworks were going off that started the fire, and the fire like kept going, and then
I saw on Reddit just the other day. There was another fire at a fireworks place, and you see all the fireworks shooting out, and there's all these fire trucks parked out front, and they're getting covered in fireworks, like because they're all exploding on the ground when they're not supposed to be, right? Mm-hmm. There's these two guys in one of those crane operating things. They're like over it. And these fireworks are just going off next to them. Meanwhile, all the people, they're hopping in these fire trucks and moving them. And there's just these two guys in a bucket just like stuck. And the comments are like, these guys got a front row seat.
It's the first time you ever watched fireworks from above.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Oh, man. I love Reddit.
Oh, my gosh. Let's not forget that we lost our dear Chadwick Boseman. That was really sad.
Yeah, that
That one was rough.
That sucked.
California was on fire again,
Every
like a lot.
Every year.
But like
yeah, but
this
theirs
year was like
more than
really
normal.
really bad.
It was the
Yeah.
whole West Coast.
And it was due to a lack of like forest. What's the word I'm looking for? Forest upkeep. They're supposed to like do a series of controlled burns and cleaning out certain like foliage and
Get rid
trees
of
and
fuels.
stuff.
I love
But they
President
don't.
Trump's description of this. We need to like clean up the leaves and do you remember that?
Do it more Trump like.
I don't know how
You got to
to.
clean up the leaves and
It's gonna be huge.
hedge.
Oh, because of this, you
Huge
got a
cleanup.
huge fire.
He's
It's
trying to
huge.
he's trying to describe how to do
How to do yard
forest
work.
cleanup, and you're like, this just
It's like,
makes my
sir,
head
you've
hurt.
never done yard work in your life.
They're cleaning up all the
And then,
leaves.
and on Trump, he got COVID. Remember?
Oh yeah,
He got
Trump got
COVID. Eddie
COVID.
Van Halen died. And then there was Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She died. She was one of the justices
yeah.
of the Supreme Court, which was like a huge, crazy thing in the world of politics again, because that meant that Trump was putting in a third justice.
Yeah. She was the oldest justice too, right? She'd been there the longest.
She was. I mean, I don't agree with a lot of things that she liked, but gotta respect the woman. Kicked butt to get to where she was.
yeah.
But and there we are, and now we're at the end of it. And I mean, I just pray that come January 1st, we just pump the brakes a little bit.
Now
Maybe it'll be like a light switch. It just
Can you imagine? No trace of COVID left anywhere. Scientists baffled.
it's like Jumanji, just everything ends at midnight.
like all
sucked
the
in.
memes that say at
Really?
midnight everybody has to yell Jumanji so we can hurry and end
I
this.
saw this video on TikTok, and it's like God talking to his angel. He's like, "All right, did you get all the diseases and disasters ready for the 2020s?" And the angel's like, "For 2020?"
I saw that.
And God's like, "The 2020s," and he's like, "2020."
I saw that. He's like,
like,
oh no.
You put all of them in 1 year?
so true.
Well,
Oh, man.
here's a question that and to take things back, when we had the earthquake, right? Wasn't there another thing that happened here in Utah like that same week? I know we had the earthquake.
Well,
and
it was right, like
was it
literally
the
right
fires?
after. I think it was like days after the actual lockdown. Like,
well, I want to say it was we had the lockdown, and then there was the earthquake, and then I want to say we had the fires or something. There was something crazy. and it
we
was
did
like,
have fires.
yeah. This year was just monotony.
Like I said, that first chunk was just the scariest because you didn't know what was happening.
And that's probably why this year has felt so long and so short at the same time. Is because
Yeah.
those first 5 months, you're just left
It was
wondering.
literally like when I was looking back at like the things that happened in January, they were literally days apart.
Yeah.
It was like, boom, huge headline, this thing happened. Boom, this huge giant thing happened. Like literally days from each other, and some right after each other, and that's
remember-
why it just kept going.
I remember the day of the earthquake. It was like all of a sudden I see the blinds shaking. And I was like, all right, well, I got a call to go to a body shop. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to work. And she's like, you're leaving? I was like, I got to go to work. So I go, I'm at the body shop, and we had an aftershock. And the whole body shop shaking. I was like, I'm done. I'm out. I'm
going
packed up.
home.
I'm all throwing my stuff in my car. I'm like, I'm out. I'm going home. He's like,
Oh,
"Whoa."
and then we had that crazy windstorm here.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
everything
right.
blew over.
Yeah.
with like
That's right.
hurricane speed winds.
Yeah,
and
we
stuff.
haven't.
That's
The last
right.
time we had that other one. I call it Windageddon. This was Windageddon Strikes Back, but the last time I think was like 2011 or something like that, or like 13. It was a long time ago.
A lot of missing trampoline posters everywhere.
Yeah, like trampolines on other people's yards. There were trees knocked down everywhere, like
Yeah.
full-grown giant trees. It
Yeah.
was wild.
This year's just been crazy.
I mean, I'm glad to see it. Let's say goodbye. I'm excited for that New Year's
Yeah.
Eve when we can be like, peace out, 2020.
Let's ring in the new year with positivity
agree.
and
Just-
health and happiness.
Just always
Fingers
remember
crossed.
not to think of 2021 as the phrase 2021 WON.
2021.
Oh, they got me again. He keeps coming.
Oh man.
Well, thanks guys for hanging out with us. This was a wild episode just like this year. We hope you love it. You can find us on all other platforms with podcasts. If you enjoy watching, we are on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, you can listen everywhere else. Thanks for being here, guys. Have a good
Thanks,
one.
guys.
Thanks for
See
being
ya.
part of this crowd.
Ciao.
Peace.